Three things that you should try to avoid when starting off your first game. These are the three things that I would probably change if I were to go back and give myself advice. And these aren't necessarily, this isn't necessarily advice that I would give to myself now. In fact, some of these might sound weird or stupid to you guys, but I would definitely say this to my previous self just because of the fact that I was a beginner. So this is strictly kind of advice I would give to a beginner. So the first part is focusing. Try not to focus all your energy on random things like sound design and music, art, etc. All those kind of things. So as a single person, as an individual dev, if you have those skills like art or sound design already, that's fine. But for me personally, I had no skills. I had maybe a bit of coding skills. I'm not really good at art. I'm not really good at sound design, etc. I couldn't do any of those things. And instead of focusing my energy into trying to learn all those individual parts, I focused all my energy into game dev, just designing a game. That's it. I would collect art. I would maybe ask for friends if they wanted to draw something for my game. That was it. I would collect things and then I'd put it in. I wouldn't focus too. I wouldn't put my energy into those things because if you have, let's say you have, let's gamify our energy. If you have 10 points of energy and you have to split it among five different things, so game design, sound design, music design, art, etc., then each piece will get about 2 points of energy, right? Those 2 points are worthless almost, and you won't get anything done. So because your skills are low and because your energy is also low, you will get nothing done. So this is the advice I would give you to focus all your energy into one thing to start with. Because your energy is low, your motivation is low, and your skill set is low. So the efficiency of doing these things is just way too low when you start off. So this sounds weird, but that's what I would give myself as advice as the first thing. And so the second part, this one isn't really applicable, but hopefully some of you guys out there can kind of take heart to it. And that would be don't be afraid of marketing your game. And when I say market, I don't mean advertise, pay for ads, paying on Google, whatever. I don't say. In fact, I would avoid that. What I mean by marketing is don't be afraid to tell your friends about the game that you're making, or don't be afraid to tell them about the game you made. So once you've made it, in fact, this kind of goes into my third point, but I'll finish this one first. Once you've made it, don't be afraid to tell your friends about it. Personally, I had really supportive friends, and a lot of my friends were very supportive and were like, "Oh, this is an awesome game," blah blah blah. Even it was all bullshit. It was a terrible game. like it was a terrible game. The first game I made was absolutely horrid. But they were all lying. They were all like, "Oh, it's really good. Good work. You made this in a month. That's awesome. I could never do this." Right. So don't be afraid to market your game, whether it's to your family, to your friends, even if it's like on Facebook. In fact, my first game, I made a Facebook post about it. Like zero people commented, liked it, like no one cared. But I still kind of felt good that I was able to release it and say and put it on Facebook and be like, yeah, look, I made this thing. So don't be afraid to do that because it does not just motivate you, but it kind of gives you that drive to go on to your next game. Um, so yeah, make sure you have kind of supportive friends that do that as well. If you actually try to release a game to your friends and you find that they're not very supportive, I would maybe suggest looking for new friends. That's just my own personal advice. And for point number three, don't be afraid to talk about making your game or your dreams. So if you're kind of hiding your ideas in games to an extent, it kind of makes you feel like you don't want to do it, right? It makes you feel like the process will be more difficult. So even now, sometimes when I'm making a big game, I'll kind of go to one or two of my friends and be like, hey, look what I'm making. Or like, I'll kind of try to get them excited about it and try to not get them excited, but I'm more trying to get them to give me compliments basically to kind of get me excited about building it as well, right? So again, it kind of comes back to having supportive friends who are supporting what you're trying to do and what you're trying to make. And again, this also ties into what I'm doing right now. I'm making YouTube videos and are making these videos for you guys, but also I have friends who don't give a shit about like what I'm doing. They're not game dev people. They don't care, but they're very supportive and they're kind of like, oh, like I watched that video that you made the other day, and it's really cool to see my friends talk about that. And when you see them talk about your game that way, it gives you that same drive to keep going. And this can really be helpful, especially in your first few games that you make and try to release, because it can be very difficult to take all that stress on your own. So most of this advice I'm giving is specifically to avoid burnout or to kind of help you get started as an indie person. So not just an indie dev, but an indie person. So keep in mind you are alone, and it's going to be very lonely. It's going to be very hard. But I believe in you. You can do it. A lot of us did it. So yeah, I don't know. I believe in you guys. I hope you guys find my advice useful. If you want a friendly community, hopefully you can join my Discord down below. I'll definitely support you guys as much as I can. If you have any games that you want to show me, I would definitely be down to take a look. So join my Discord. I hope you guys found this video useful. Hope you found my advice useful. Go subscribe, comment down below, like the video, and maybe share with a friend who you know is doing this kind of thing. So I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.